And good evening, folks, and welcome to another edition of the Pelican Sports Report. I am Doug Gann with 446 Sports, bringing you Week 1 action as we're getting ready to make the trip with the Trojans down to West Feliciana. We'll hit the town of St. Francisville, and as we like to do, we're going to visit with the coaches that we'll meet and find out a little bit of the program that the Trojans are going to go and face off of. And we're delighted to visit with head coach of West Feliciana. And it may be West Fel. I hear that a lot too, but we'll get into that sometime.
Yeah,
Devin Ducote. Coach, welcome aboard.
Thank you for having me, Mr. Doug. I appreciate you.
Look, it's exciting to talk to anybody that's in football. It certainly is. Before we got started tonight, you were telling me that in a couple of minutes late, but it's okay. And the reason behind that was you guys were Bible study. Tell me a little bit about that in your program.
Yes, sir. Well, and look, this is a coaches outreach program that we just kicking off, and we're just digging into Mark. So it's going to be, we're excited about where it's headed, and really this is going to begin with the coaches, and we'll see where it goes from there.
Look, that's phenomenal. And leadership in this game is about more than just the X's and O's. And I'm not telling you anything you don't know. You've been around the program, the football for a long, long time. But it starts with you guys.
It does, and that's a huge responsibility and a lot of ownership that we have. But we also want to make sure we're teaching and modeling, but also giving autonomy to the kids too.
Well, that's awesome to do. Coach, I told you beforehand, we'll talk about a lot of things tonight before we get out of here. One of the things that I wanted to talk about in some research we were doing before we really get too deep into this is paying tribute to one of your fallen players over the summer. I know you guys had just a disaster that happened with a young man, Rayshon Franklin Jr. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Rayshon was a great teammate and obviously dearly missed, and our senior and very, very close to a lot of the seniors, and it was a tough day. And it's been a hard summer, but our leadership on the team has wanted to honor him by how we play the game, and so that's what our goal and our aim is. He was a selfless teammate. He was a hard worker. He had a big smile on his face. He was a say less and do more type of kid. His family is salt of the earth and awesome, and they just are blue collar as blue collar can be. And we're going to do everything in our power to honor him by how we play the game.
Well, Coach, that is beautiful. We're not going to spend a lot of time on there, but I would be remiss if I didn't visit with the West Feliciana program and not honor him in that way as well. So our prayers stay with you guys in that St. Francisville area around the West Feliciana program, and may God's grace hold on to all of you there.
Thank you.
All right, so let's get into just a few things. You guys came off of a wonderful season, making the second round of the playoffs, had a fifth seed there before losing to eventual champion Opelousas in that one. Tell me a little bit about last year's 9-3 season.
The year one for the and for the coaching staff. We had some adversity early on in the season, and losing two running backs and having to have some adjustments there with some personnel, and then really just getting Joel plugged in at quarterback, and then having the injury to him, having to move around, and really just helping these kids discover how we wanted to play, right, and what our goal was for West Feliciana football, and getting everybody to buy in and trust that, hey, man, this vision can happen as well. Coach Fuller had done a great job, and then previous staff, but at the same time, is we had to be ourselves, and so obviously didn't create the momentum we wanted on the back end of the season. Ran into a buzzsaw in Opelousas, gave ourselves a chance to win, but didn't execute well enough in the back half, and man, they were the better team that night.
Do you buy into that nonsense? I'm sorry, I gave my hand away. Do you buy into that about if you're going to lose to somebody, it would rather be the eventual state champion, or does it just burn the same no matter what?
It's you either win the last game or you don't.
That's right. That's right. I know you had a couple of guys that went down to Baton Rouge. Not a bad trip for those guys. Lost a couple of pretty big stars.
We lost some young men that played a lot of football, and started with Joel Rogers, and Ted Jackson and Joe Johnson and Demetrius Hardy and Davon Allen. And the list goes on, and I'd be remiss to just leave out some names. But those guys have played since they were freshmen, and really built this program up and took them to the semis their junior year. And obviously, we lose in the second round their senior year, and so it was just a sad to see them go, but also new opportunities for this next class of seniors.
What does that do for the younger guys being around such high quality, high character players as those?
Well, I think it just raises the level and expectation and standard of, hey, here's what it's going to take to for West Feliciana to do what it wants to do, and this um, you can always point to, hey, how hard did they play, right? How did they handle their business? What was the preparation like? How did they work in the weight room? How did they treat the teachers and the janitors and the cafeteria ladies?
Right.
And so it all comes back to like, hey, it all affects the final product on Friday night. And we're not just based on that, but it's the character development piece that we're looking for.
How's your fall and your summer to go? How were they?
I mean, been very, very pleased with the body of work for the young men in the summer. We brought in a new strength and conditioning coach, Jason Gator Little, who's been awesome. Coach Cecil Thomas ran our weight room in the off season and did a great job as well. And really, the kids just kind of dug in and trenched down and wanting to create their own new identity and who we want to be and how those things are going. But been excited about fall camp. It's been a hot fall. We've been practicing at night.
Right.
Till this week, so it's good to get back out there at 3:00 and not 7:00.
Look, you got to check that weather bulb or whatever it is, that new term of the year. My goodness.
Yeah, no, shoot, it's been and ultimately it's about keeping the kids safe so that we can have a great product, and we understand that as well.
You're exactly right. I just think they could have came up with a different term for it, but what do? Just to go back to an earlier response that you had made, your new strength and conditioning coach. How can you not like a dude that's got a nickname of Gator?
Yeah, no doubt, man, no doubt, and he fits the personality too, man. He is when you think strength and conditioning coach, man, he fits the bill.
He's the one. All right. So you guys are in 4A. You play in Division 2. I guess that it is out of there. I looked up and down your schedule. Of course, you start with the Trojans out of 5A. I think you've got Woodlawn, another 5A team. You guys don't dip below 4A in anything that you do. Is that on purpose to get you ready for that tough District 6-2A, or I guess what is it, 6-4A that you're in?
Some of us, a lot of us by design. We have a saying around here: the competition is king. And we want to expose these young men and this program to platforms that are going to allow us to be the best version on the back end of the season. We're going to learn and grow so much from playing a team that is going to push and make us better Friday night, win or lose, than we are playing somebody who's just going to be an easy win.
What is it like for your guys playing teams that don't really get a chance to play before? And that's one thing that we talked to Coach Bachman about, and playing different teams, seeing a team like Alexandria that comes down there, one that you probably hadn't played and may not play.
No, and look, nothing but respect for the program Coach Bachman's built. I've known him from when he was at Evangel, playing and just time and career, but also just the level of consistency is one of the things that I think we most admire from inside the walls here of just how they just turn out a product that is competitive, that is relentless, that has great physicality and speed, and puts themselves in a position to win a bunch of games on the back end of a season and be competing for a state championship. Look, that's ultimately who we want to be. That's the program we want to build here, right? So I'm giving them his flowers right now in their program, but man, tip of the cap to them, really.
Well, that's often in the word you talked about, building a program. That's often thrown about. And I had an interview with another coach this morning from LCU, and it's difference of a team and a program. And you talk about building a program. Are the folks buying into that and seeing that, hey, this isn't just a last year and a this year and a next year. This is a big step.
Yes, no, it's been great to see really leadership starting at the top with our administration and Mr. Milton, our superintendent, Ms. Abby Cochran, supervisor of education, Coach G, our athletic director, Ms. Taylor, our principal, Mark Lester, the middle school principal. I mean, we're pulling on the same rope in the same direction. We're getting all of our athletes involved. All the coaches are on board. Um, it's just been fun to see how we can develop all of our student athletes starting in 6th grade.
Well, that's great. When you get that buy-in at an early age and you get everybody working on the same side of it, well, it's a little bit easier to build that program.
Yes, sir. There ain't no doubt about it. It's a coach can only do so much. It's all the infrastructure and the things that go into the development that's fun to watch too.
Well, take me back to a week ago, your jamboree that you had. How did you turn out? I think you guys did you play Zachary in that one?
We did. Obviously, that's got some regional ties to our program. Just,
Right.
um, obviously, where they're located, it's a big game for our kids. They have fun playing in it. Our environment, our community has a great time playing in it. It's always an awesome environment. Um, we get better because of playing a team like that. Obviously, you're talking about the state runner-up, but
Yep.
also the level of football, the speed, the type of execution that we got to have to be able to put some things on tape that make us better in the long run. And we pray we come out healthy and we can grow from it. Um,
Well, when you see that type of program, you go in there and you see their facilities, and that's built off of several runs of state titles that were in there. You start getting money poured into the program, and it's just a great facility. I know the Trojans were back there when they made their run in 2020, and it was a great place to play. So, that's not a bad thing to want to model after.
and we don't. We got nothing but respect for that program down the road. I think the thing about West Feliciana is we're going to do it West Feliciana way.
Yeah.
Do it the way that we think is best for this community. It might not be necessarily the same as everybody else, and that's okay. But we're going to do what's best for our kids, our parish, and our school system.
So speaking of that, and I told you that we jump around at a few things too. If it were me and I was doing it the West Feliciana way, and this is tongue in cheekly because you're the coach and I'm absolutely not, but you'll know when I get to my point on this too. My pregame meal would be at the Francis every week, and I'd be back there having char grilled oysters.
Oh man, there ain't no lie about that, man. They do a great job. You got to slide into the smokehouse too and grab your ribeye po' boy. So
A ribeye. See, that's one of the things I told my a lot of our coaches shows, of course, are in restaurants, and I said if I can just get one more, but we try to go and find a place when we come into town to have a little dinner, and then we'll talk about it when we're on the show. So you're saying the smokehouse is the place we need to be?
they're right next door, man. It's all the same. It's all so you right there, man. You got to get both of them, man.
That's it. Look, we do that. We'll go get the I guess it's the Diablo oysters and that bread pudding that's there.
Yep.
And I'm calling it a day.
Yeah, the jacked up oysters, man. You ain't gonna go wrong with those, man.
you're and look, there's been no promotional payment on this either. It's just been a great talk about it, Coach. What do we get back to your group? We're not going to keep you much longer on here, but when you guys come out offensively, what can we expect?
Without giving away the X's and O's, right?
Right. No, absolutely.
I think what the product that we want to put out on the field is one that's fast, that's physical at the point of attack, that executes with precision, that shares and is selfless with the football, that blocks on the perimeter, that makes plays when you have the ball in your hands. Ultimately, how do we get there? That's probably different than maybe some other people, and we take pride in that too. Like we want to make sure we have something to hang our hat on. We're an inside-out football team, but at the same time, is when we put the ball on the perimeter, our speed is operating in space. We expect those guys to do something with it when they get it.
Look, that's the coach answer that I get a lot of times, and I don't get it. No, but it's perfect. I don't ever expect that I'm going to get some inside information out of it by any means, especially wearing the purple and gold on Friday nights that we do. We invite you to tune in tomorrow night. We'll have the Thomas Bachman show at 7 p.m. right here on the same on our same stations that we do, and he won't give me any information either. And we've been doing this 10 years.
Yeah, well, let us know when the trick play is coming. What the third down coverage variations are, and he shares those. Then I'll shoot them right back to him, and then we'll just...
I can see that I'm not going to get much accomplished with you two guys prior to the game. Now, afterwards, it may be a complete different story on there. But Coach, we're looking forward to a great trip down to the St. Francisville area. The wife's mad because she can't go on this trip because we love to get down to St. Francisville.
Man, beautiful, beautiful place, beautiful people, and we're excited to get some football kicked off for 2024 on Friday night.
All right, so non-football before we get you out of
Yep.
here, as you might know, have you ever stayed and spent the night at the Myrtles?
I have not stayed and spent the night, but I've obviously we've done the tour and had dinner there several times, man. But
Look,
it's real.
My wife wants to go there and stay the night. Now, we went the last time we went, it was for the Food and Wine Festival,
Yep.
which was just a tremendous time. But I was always busy that night that she wants to go spend the night there. That's for sure.
I bet.
Look, you guys have a lot of history down there in St. Francisville. It's awesome to be heading that way. Coach, it's been a pleasure getting to visit with you and spend some time with your program. Again, our prayers up to Rashawn's family and all of your program in this year as you do honor him.
We appreciate that, Doug. Thank y'all so much, and we look forward to seeing you guys Friday night.
There you go. Guys, this has been the Pelican Sports Report. We have been visiting with West Feliciana head coach Devin Ducote, who joined us here, and that is who the Trojans will play this coming Friday night, just a couple of days from here before things kick off. Guys, we'll see you next time. You've been watching the Pelican Sports Report.